if you do have any questions throughout, feel free to put those in the chat and we'll make sure that we get those answered as they come up. A little bit about us. My name is Catherine. I am a programs coordinator for the Dashew Center. So I work full-time doing our programs and events. And I'm joined by a few staff members and a student leader here today. We have Tina, who is our Assistant Director for Student Visa Services with the F1 unit. We also have Andreas, who is one of our International Student Ambassadors. He is also a transfer student and he's from Switzerland. And helping us in the chat on the back end is Marcus, who is one of our student programming assistants in the programs unit. So you'll see a lot of different words here on the screen that are associated with UCLA. I want to highlight a few of them. UCLA has over 109 academic programs. And there's also a global alumni network that comes along with being a part of UCLA. So you can find a Bruin support system all over the world. By attending UCLA, you have lots of opportunities for cultural interaction. LA is one of the most diverse and dynamic cities in the US, so there are many different opportunities to interact with the local community as well as a student body. And within our student body, we have students from over 120 countries in the world. UCLA has also been ranked the #1 public university by US News and World Report for 2021. So that's something that we're obviously very proud of. We are also ranked #9 for world reputation rankings in Times Higher Education. So these statistics and lots of other data about UCLA can be found on UCLA's homepage. We also have over 10,000 international students and scholars, and like I mentioned, over 120 countries represented. And this information can be found on Dashew's website. We have a unit for special projects and research. So if you're more curious about the demographics of our international population, going to our website is a good place to start for that. So I will talk a little bit about our programs, events, and opportunities for intercultural exchange. All of our programming is open to domestic and international students. We provide opportunities for cross-cultural learning, adjustment to life at UCLA and Los Angeles. Even domestic students who are from outside of Los Angeles or California can benefit from being a part of our programs. We also offer opportunities for language exchange, friendship building, and different leadership opportunities throughout the year. And then specifically for international students, we do have support workshops, and I'll talk about a few of those that we've offered this past year in particular. So one of the most important things that our office does is what we call iStart at UCLA, which is the International Student Transition Program. So all newly admitted transfer students will receive information from our office on how to complete this orientation. The orientation is there to help you understand how to maintain your visa status while you're at UCLA. So keep a lookout from our office for information on how to do this once you SIR and commit to UCLA. So two of our big opportunities for cross-cultural learning, we have these two year-long programs. So on the left, you'll see our Global Siblings program. For the next year, we'll be having that program for the fall and winter quarters. And this program is open to both domestic and international students. And students are grouped into what we call Global Siblings families, which are coordinated by student coordinators to plan events throughout the year for the participants and their family. So it's a really great opportunity to get to know campus. If things allow and we can do things in person next year, it's a great opportunity to get to know Los Angeles as well. And then on the right, you'll see our International Student Ambassadors flyer. So Andreas will talk a little bit more about this program later, but these are selected student leaders who represent their home countries on campus, and they do a variety of things. Like I said, Andreas will share a little bit more about that in a few minutes. We also offer opportunities for language exchange. We have a language exchange, or sorry, for language improvement, we have a language exchange program that in the past has run every quarter. And for this program, we pair two students together who are studying a language other than their native language. So for example, if I'm a native English speaker and I am learning Mandarin, I would be paired with a native Mandarin speaker who is interested in learning English. So it's a really great way to meet people and obviously, have some practice with your languages. And then we also offer an English language circle every week. We have been doing this online. It's led by a native English speaker, and she is there to, have conversations and, answer any grammar questions or slang questions that you might come across just in general. So again, a really great opportunity to meet people and kind of a low commitment way to be involved with the Dashew Center. So here on the screen are a few health and wellness workshops that we have offered this past year. We partner a lot with different offices on campus to provide services. So these three were targeted specifically for international students, and we partnered with our Counseling and Psychological Services Center. So we're able to adapt what we offer based on, obviously outside factors and things that are happening that might impact our students. This past winter quarter, we also offered support spaces for international students of different populations. So we had one specifically for international transfers. We also had a support space for international students who identify as part of the LGBTQ community. So really just providing students with an opportunity to come together, even though we've all been separated due to COVID. Just important to be able to connect with people when we can. And then this past election cycle for the US, we offered an American Politics 101 workshop, which is always popular because it's a confusing topic, even for us who are from the US. So again, we try to kind of fill in the gaps of information and support that our international students might need. We also offer tax workshops in partnership with a few different places. Tax is a company that we partner with to offer specific guidance for international students filing taxes. And we also have partnered with UCLA Student Legal Services to provide a workshop on H-1B work visas, which many incoming F1 students might be interested in as they finish their time at UCLA. And then the most fun things that I think we do are our social and intercultural programs. So we've done some trivia this past year. We did a UCLA scavenger hunt online. We also did an online Super Bowl party in partnership with the ASUCLA store. So again, these are just social opportunities for you to just meet people and connect, and then help you feel more connected to campus and to Los Angeles. So I mentioned quite a few programs there. That's not all that we've offered in the past. A lot of information can be found on our website, which we will share with you in the chat. And I think Marcus will probably share, a few more links in the chat if you want some specifics, but feel free to put any questions about programming there and we will get to those. And we'll go ahead and move on to Tina, who will talk a little bit about our visa services and support.
Thank you, Catherine. And well, welcome everyone. Nice to meet you virtually. Well, we're hoping to eventually return to campus and get to meet you in person. As Catherine mentioned, my name is Tina Nguyen. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Visa Services at the Dashew Center. Just a little bit about what we do at the Dashew Center, in addition to Catherine's programmings and workshops and events that she just presented. We are a one-stop shop for all of our international students at UCLA, including graduates, graduate students, transfer, and freshmen. So we're like the hub of collecting resources, information for our students, so that it gives you gives students an easier way to navigate campus resources. We do provide walk-in advisement available, given that, when we return back in person, COVID-19 pandemic situation would permit us to do so. And our staff are always available virtually to assist you with any questions regards to your visa questions or inquiries that you may have, or even complex cases where you can meet with our staff multiple times, unlimited visa appointment with our staff to address your needs. Next, please. So as part of the Bruin Bound today is we assist you. We're assisting you with the Bruin experience from admissions to arrival to UCLA and beyond. So I understand this is a transfer student session. So what it is part of the important information. If you are a transfer student, after submitting your SIR, you will be receiving an I-20 request instructions to email, sent to your email address. From there, you access the information. One important key to when you're accessing the I-20 portal is that if you are currently holding a valid F1 status with a school in the US right now, please do indicate or select yes as the visa questions. There's going to be a visa question pop up as you navigate through the portal. And the question will ask you, are you currently holding valid F1 visa status? If you do, please select yes to that question so that the portal will then prompt you to ask you to provide your current SEVIS ID number and the release date of your SEVIS record to UCLA. The reason I mentioned that is important because if you do have a valid SEVIS record or I-20, we want you to continuously carrying the same SEVIS ID number from one school to another as you move along with your education within the US, because you don't want to lose that number, because you want to have that continuous F1 status throughout your academic career in the US. So that's one important thing about the I-20 process and the documents. And we do provide one-on-one counseling sessions, and we do process various authorization requests, such as travel support letters, anything that you may need, such as Social Security support letter. If you are going to you're going to secure an on-campus employment upon arrival in the fall, we will be assisting you with that as well. And then there are various employment authorizations for off-campus that student can obtain to our office. And one important reminder day is that don't miss the deadline to SIR. I believe for transfer, it's going to be June 1st. So I understand you get admitted to UCLA. I'm sure there may be many others. Probably you have also received many other offers to different universities as well. And of course, our rivalry school would be the crosstown from us, about what, 10, 12 miles from our campus. And the other one would be a few hundred miles away up north, another bear, I guess. But after the presentation today, that we have the information we provide and the UCLA name and the education experience that you will have at UCLA that will convince you enough to join UCLA and be part of the Bruin family. So in case you are looking for the transfer in form, just to let you know, our website is currently going under constructions or not revamping, but we're switching. We're transferring our website to a different software. So sometimes the link that you have received in the I-20 request portal may cause an error. If it does, please reach out to us so we can provide you the updated link. But the IT staff is doing the best on the back end to restore that all the links for us. And our current processing timeline for I-20 transfer I-20 request is 15 business days from your SEVIS release date. So if you're currently in the US or holding F1 valid F1 status, please contact the International Student Office at your current school to let them know that you have been accepted to UCLA and you're going to UCLA in the fall, so that they can transfer your I-20 to us. Okay, and this is the sample of the SEVIS transfer in form. But then again, when you access the I-20 request portal, it will give you that link to get to this form here. And that's all the information I have. And I'll stay around to answer any questions that you may have, just that may come up. Thank you. And I will give you the time to Andreas to present his section.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Andreas, and as you heard before, I'm the ambassador for Switzerland. And what we do is pretty much, we serve the campus community as the official representatives for international students. Right now, we have more than 25 countries that we represent around the world. I do believe it's 28. And yeah, we're like trying to build a community place for international Bruins. But we are also the first point of contact for international students. But I mean, technically anyone can reach out to us, right? And we're trying to support you guys by providing advice and resources to make your transition to UCLA and maybe even to the greater Los Angeles area in general as smooth as possible. So of course, like that's part of it, being an ambassador, we advocate to UCLA staff and faculty on behalf of the international community to make sure our voices are heard. So let's talk about me. I forgot the slide. So I'm originally from Zurich, Switzerland, so my first language is German. I transferred from college to San Mateo. So what I actually did, I went to the Bay Area because my relatives, my aunt and uncle lived there. So I went there as a high school exchange student. And then after a year, they offered me to stay. So I actually dropped high school in Switzerland after 2 years, under 2 years of high school. And then went 4 years to community college actually, and took the GED, which is a high school equivalency diploma at the end of it, because otherwise I couldn't have transferred to UCLA. And now I'm actually a graduating senior, and I majored in molecular cell and developmental biology, which sounds long and complicated, but it's just a major like anything else, like English. It's just I have to take one class in molecular biology, another in cell biology. You get the idea. So let's talk about the transition. Adjusting to the quarter system can be challenging. I think, so I was used to semester system all my life long, and I think it's 16 weeks, something like that. So in here at UCLA, you have 10 weeks of classes and then finals week. And honestly, I do feel like in those 10 weeks, you actually cover even more than in a semester at other schools before, but I mean, it might depend on the school. So anyway, balancing academic and social life and sleep can be a little bit challenging. With pride, I can say I have a 4.0 right now, but I know many people who just also choose to not have a 4.0 because they value like social life more and stuff like that, which I do too. As you can see, I'm also involved as an international student ambassador, so my sleep is what suffers the most. But yeah, I mean, it's super fun. Like classes are interesting and it's challenging, but it's also, you know, I mean, I hope you also love learning, right? And there's so many opportunities here to be involved. And yeah, I think it's important to figure out what do you want to achieve at UCLA, right? In the end, it's about your story, like trying to think about your future plans. So kind of trying to be involved with intent, if that makes sense. So what I definitely had to learn was how to prioritize. Back at community college, I felt like I had the opportunity to be involved in everything, but that's simply not possible. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just like you also have so many opportunities here, so you have to pick and choose. Which brings me to tips. I mean, in general, I would just say be involved, utilize resources, and try to make the most out of your time here. And get started as soon as you can, because we are all transfer students, right? So 2 years actually fly by very quickly. Also because of the quarter system, you're kind of on the grind all the time, and then you suddenly break, and you're on the grind all the time, and you suddenly break, and then a year passes, and you have to think about your future. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the clubs. I know I keep mentioning them, I think. So I would really recommend trying to check them out. Clubs are super welcoming, and yeah, like don't be shy, even though it might be overwhelming. It's really, they want to make connections too. So that's really all just for fun. I think I will later put in a link for the student organizations, which you will see later. Another thing is use the resources available, like the Career Center, to already be prepared for what's coming after graduation. As a graduating senior, trust my words, I don't feel prepared because I have not used those opportunities well enough. Because the Career Center really has a lot of resources, like even helping you with resume and helping you with interviews and just general advising. UCLA One is an alumni association where you can get in touch with them and get maybe some mentorship. Handshake is pretty much you create a profile there, and you can find internships and job opportunities. So it's really useful. And the URC stands for Undergraduate Research Center, which is pretty much the same thing as Handshake, just for research. So again, I will send those links right after I finish talking. You can find the UCLA One and Handshake on the Career Center webpage that I will send. So yeah, another thing I would recommend is actually go to office hours to get the most out of your classes, talk to your professors, also to get to know them and they get to know you, because eventually if you're planning on continuing your education, those letters of recommendations would come in handy. And yeah, just try to go to events. There are events going on all the time, which is really cool. This is why I really enjoy UCLA. There's always something going on that you can do and take advantage of it. So overall, I would recommend, yeah, don't be shy. Don't be afraid. And like, don't think, oh, it's going to be awkward, or, oh, I won't have time. Like, you always kind of can make time. And also, I think a very good philosophy to have is you can always stop doing something. So don't be afraid to say yes at first and then just see how much you like it. So yeah, take this opportunity to explore and find yourself. I think here as an undergraduate student, especially UCLA, I guess it's also similar at other schools, but I feel like you never have the chance to be involved in so many different and various things to, like, I don't know, they have, like, you know, sports clubs, arts clubs, video games club, like anything you can think of. And if they don't, you can just start a club too. So yeah, I think having fun and enjoy the moment is really the most important aspect of it. And yeah, last but not least, contact us. The first link goes to all the ambassadors, like the 28 that I mentioned before. And I can also send this into the chat. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Andreas and Tina. So yeah, there'll be some links coming to you in the chat, but and feel free to put any questions there as well. I do want to point out just a little bit about our office. So you'll see DCISS on the screen, which stands for Dashew Center for International Students and Scholars. So if you see that acronym somewhere, it is referring to our office. And we are located at 106 Bradley International Hall, which is on the southwest side of campus near the residence halls. And right now during COVID, while we're operating remotely, our virtual front desk Q&A hours are 9 to 11:30 a.m. and 1:30 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. And our website is here. There is contact information for all of the units in our office, as well as how to access that virtual front desk when you do have questions. So even as a newly admitted student, and definitely after USIR, all of our resources are available to you. You're welcome to drop by our front desk and ask questions at any point throughout your process. And I wanted to plug our social media here. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We also have an e-newsletter that you can sign up for to receive updates on the different programs and events that we offer, as well as different announcements that might pertain to you as a student. So you can sign up for that at this tiny URL. It is voluntary, it's totally optional, but it's a great way. I think, we find that most students who participate in our programs find out about them through that e-newsletter. So it's a really great resource, and we try to link it to other resources as well on campus. All right, so that concludes our presentation. We are happy to stay on here for just a minute or two if anyone has any questions that they would like to chat about. But otherwise, thank you all so much for joining us for this presentation. We know that some of you might be in time zones outside the Pacific time zone, which might be a little bit inconvenient. So thanks for joining. And this presentation will also be up on the Bruin Bound website and on Dashew's YouTube channel, probably in the next few days. So thanks again for joining, and we look forward to seeing you all at UCLA.